Always, I hope it gets better for you sooner than later. But welcome to another Friday Night Live Q&A, where you can ask me questions and the community questions about freshwater aquarium keeping, anything that has to do with them. Lots of knowledgeable, awesome people to help, as well as myself. And we are in Lady LRB's plant room here. Yeah, turn that off, please. Thank you. I about forgot to turn the fan on off and to hurry up, get here, and hop on here. But I hope you guys are all doing great. I mean, my hair's always crazy, but anyways, it's been a up and down week for me. A lot of you guys know I'm working on this water change system, really trying to knock out and rock out that fish barn with all the aquariums and all that, and really trying to get this done before the new year, because I feel like I wanted it done a long time ago. I know it always takes longer than I want it to, but anyways, it's been real up and down with that. Had a couple leaks with the water change system, but got those fixed. I do now have water going into the aquariums. I got a rack I'm working on right now. You guys all get a video on this at some point in time, probably not this week, but at some point I will catch you guys all up. But at least we have these Friday night lives where we can all catch up with each other and sit and chat, and you guys can know what's going on, at least if you listen and watch these. Because those who have been following me for a long time know I'm like an open book. I'll tell you how it is and whatever you want to know. Lars K, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. That is awesome of you. Says, Merry Christmas, Lucas. Love you, brother. Well, love you too, brother. Thank you. Dude, you have been absolutely amazing for such a long time. And, dude, I can never thank you enough, Lars. I really appreciate you. And all the happiest holidays to you and your loved ones. Thank you. Very helpful right now. And to all you guys who made your orders these last weeks are forever, you know. I could never thank all you guys enough. You guys have helped me live my dream, which is pretty awesome. But you know what? I hope this inspires other people to say, you know, if this guy can do it, why can't I? But hello to all you awesome people in here. I see you. I see all your names. Of course, I can't shout out to all you, but you guys know who you are. And I am looking for questions. I haven't seen any questions yet. But, yeah, if you got the questions, I am here for you. If not, I'm going to keep on rambling on about whatever. YouTube that boy says Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's, LRB. Long time no see. Still have your signed posters when I met you in Dallas at Aquashella. Man, I remember meeting you too. That was awesome. I think that was like one of the biggest Aquashellas, I think, ever, because they hit maximum capacity. And that was a good time. But nice seeing you on here. I know you've been around for a long time as well. I haven't been to Dallas for like maybe 3 years, because of the way things landed with the move and everything. Who knows? Maybe I will get there this year. Awesome. Congrats, Lady Diane, on your first Rainbow Fry. Hey, thank you, buddy.
I know my phone was on the live stream.
No problem. Robert McLean says, best way to breed red-tail rice fish. So just like all rice fish, they pretty much breed the same. Best thing to do is get some floating plants, or some people like to make those floating spawning mops, and then they'll lay eggs all over that. Really, if you get like dirty green water tanks, algae tanks are probably one of the best that you can breed rice fish with, especially if you get some floating plants or guppy grass in there. And the temperature wise, as long as you're in the 70s, they don't care. They do like light and sunshine for breeding. They do like water changes. And you could either musical fish them out or collect their eggs and put them in another tank. When I say musical fish, that's like you take it from one tank, put it to the next. But they're pretty easy. I mean, all rice fish breed the same. A lot like rainbow fish. Zane's I Morg says, what's the safest way to level a tilted rack? So it really depends on what's causing the tilt and how the rack is built. So I can't like structurally give you a complete answer without seeing it, but I can give you some ideas. So I use composite strips for mine. I have a video too where I had a 240 gallon aquarium that was tilting as well, and I already had put the substrate in it. Like, I think it still had the substrate in it, but I believe it did. But either way, I ended up using a crowbar to kind of lift it up, and it was enough to just kind of like get some composite strips underneath it, and then just follow along down the angle, supporting it wherever you can as it gradually slopes down. And I prefer the composite, what are they called, the wedges, instead of the wood ones, because the wood ones will get soft and rot, but the composite ones will last you pretty much forever. Susan Moore Guppies, always good to see you in here, Susan. Hope you're doing well. Says, please tell us what paint you used on your aquarium rack. So I started off with the Bear, but I ended up going to like this Clark Kensington that the Ace Hardware had. It was a little bit more expensive, but quality wise, it was so much better. And I did prime them all too, so I primed them, then painted them. And I made sure that I used exterior paint. You don't want to use interior paint, because if you get it wet, then it doesn't handle as well as like exterior would. You want it to be able to handle the elements. Cody Searlock, live in a northern state, live in a northern state and newer to ordering fish online from breeders. What's your recommended cutoff temperature for nighttime temps? Those killifish on the site are amazing. Well, thank you, and thank you for being a member as well. As far as the temperatures, I would say as long as it's like not negative degrees where you are, it's not a big issue. Just make sure you don't leave them in the mailbox. Like, watch your... Luckily, in these days, we get notifications like crazy. So as long as you've got your notifications coming on your shipments, then you should know when it's delivered, and you won't have to worry about being in your mailbox too long. That's the biggest thing. We do heat packs too. So very, very rarely, or maybe like once out of the year, if it's just like stupid cold and everywhere else and doesn't make sense to ship, but usually only happens once a year. I like to use the NOAA site too. You can get on the National Oceanic whatever organization website, NOAA, and it'll give you like the whole range temperature of the United States, and that's what I usually go off of. I'm finding out. But yeah, I do have, I think, all the rest of the killifish sold. I do got quite a few Paratiti Volcanum Amphisimians, which, since I do have quite a few pair of those, I did knock down the price on them too for you guys. And the website's updated as well. I know shrimp were out of stock. Blue Dreams is getting low on the quantity there. I might have to give them a bounce back. Oh, I do have a 20 gallon of them. I don't know. We'll see. Michael Sizemore, thank you, brother. I was actually just thinking about you earlier today. Can't remember what it triggered. Oh, I was doing my talk. Speaking of which, if you guys are in Pasco County or the surrounding area down in Florida, I will be talking at the club tomorrow, and it will be the All Breeders and All Keepers edition. Keep an aquarium simple 2.0 talk, which will be really awesome. But I've got your picture at the end of that because it was this like reflection shot of one of your tanks. It's such an amazing tank. If you guys don't know who Michael Sizemore is, that dude, his aquascapes and tanks are just so clean and pristine. But brother, Merry Christmas to you. And I was just thinking about how like rare it would be to even get a chance to even film your tanks now, and I'm glad I took the time when I did to be able to capture those tanks. But awesome to see you in here, brother, and thank you so much for the support. I appreciate that. Much love. And, let's see here. Andy Rank, thank you so much for becoming a gold member. I appreciate that, Andy. Thank you, thank you. Now, there's not a whole lot of action going on in the members area, but, you know, eventually I gotta give you guys more love, for sure. Just, you guys know how I get when I'm in build mode. I mean, for those who have been following me, for you guys just coming in, you're like, who's this weirdo? Michelle Crisco says, I just watched the vid of starting the water system. I'm confused about carbon. I thought it takes away ferts. I must have misunderstood other info. Does it really help plants? Thanks. So carbon, it depends on how you're putting it in there and how you're getting it. So the way that the carbon is going into my tanks is it's actually getting pushed into my aquarium. So the water is getting some carbonated dust into it. As little as it may be, it's still compounds. And it's not like it's being ran through and cycled through an actual carbon filter. It's just whenever it gets water changes. So it's almost like rain with vitamins. Vitamin rain for my aquariums. Because I'm not going to have filters for them. I'm still going to just, I mean, my water changes is pretty much my filtration, as well as the biological material in the aquarium. Mostly the beneficial bacteria, mold, and stuff that lives in the substrate. That makes sense to you. And it does help with plants. So with carbon, that's like one of the biggest building blocks for aquarium plants. And it's often missed. And a lot of people would use like Flourish Excel for a carbon exchange, but it's actually an algicide, and it's absolutely horrible for your fish. And it's almost timed out somebody. How can I X that out? Oh, I hope I didn't time out somebody. Oh well, anyways, but that Carbon Excel, if you get it on your skin, it'll burn you. It's terrible. Look at it. Look at the bottle. It's got warnings all over it. It'll tell you. It's just most people will just use it because it's an algicide. It looks like it's working because it's killing the algae in your aquarium, and it's helping out your plants. Because if your algae ain't growing, the plants will uptake it. And it's not good for fish. I'll tell you that much. Now, carbon dioxide, adding that in, that is a way for them to take it through like a gaseous exchange to where the leaves can pick it up and then they can consume it however they need to. And the thing is, too, if you got a biofilm, thick water surface tension, the more of that CO2 actually sticks into the water. But you got to be careful with that, too, because you can gas your fish and it can really mess them up. So if I could just add some activated carbon water, I mean, it's just a little bit, because I don't have a filter over like the filter of it, so like I know bits of it are gonna go through. And yeah, it just adds to it. It's kind of like a lot of, think about in nature, if you burn an area, and why they do a lot of controlled burns is so things will like grow back all crazy and nicer, is because after things get burnt is they get all that carbon from all that pretty much, what do you want to say, compressed nutrition. And that's pretty much what that activated carbon is. And trying my best to get all these questions. I think I did. I'm scrolling my best. Alright. Not seeing any questions. Oh, here we go. Vinci for Fish 98 says, just to let you know, I got the Amphicemian volcanum killifish last week and they're doing great. I'm assuming the pair I got, one is male and the other female. Would love to breed them. So yeah, they should have been labeled male and female for you, but that is awesome. Glad to hear that they made it great, and thank you so much for your order. And as far as breeding them, I don't have like a specific video on how to breed those. What I would do is recommend you looking at the Jack Heller killifish room tour that I have, and he gives and drops down so much more knowledgeable information on breeding killifish than I could ever tell you on here. If you want to breed killifish, absolutely recommend that watch. And yeah, I mean, as far as killifish breeding too, there's so much room for the need of people to breed killifish. Like, it's really needed. Brandy Rutledge says, turn CO2 off at night helps prevent suffocating fish. Yes, exactly. If you do run CO2, pressurized CO2, you definitely want to have it on a timer to where it actually shuts off about an hour before the lights go off. And it's good to turn it on maybe an hour before the lights turn on. Scroll. I try to read like some of your guys' comments too as I scroll, but not always the easiest. So I am reading some of what y'all's saying. Tanya H says, do you have a video on what you just talked about with plants? Actually no. No, I don't. So you either got to catch me on these, you got to get to know me, I guess. I don't know. One day we'll do more videos where it's like more specific stuff. It's like, oh, here you go, this is this and this and this, which I did that a lot. And if you watch my videos, like, they may be update videos, but you never know what I'm going to throw in those videos. Because they're like 15 minutes long, usually 10 minutes long. And I don't know, I don't just like slow play it. I like to try to keep it somewhat action for y'all to like pick stuff up, learn things. Like, so if you're watching my videos, you'll pick stuff up, but I don't have like a separate one for that actual full spill. And I feel like I say it enough on lives, but you know, I know that's just me just like regurgitating, talking over, saying it, and I know that there's so many new people coming in and out all the time. And I don't know, I probably should actually. Let me I don't know how I'm gonna do this. There we go. I'll save that for later. That'll maybe remind me down the road. I've got a whole like stack of sticky notes just loaded with YouTube videos that I gotta make for y'all. And we're getting so close to ending this build in there, like the major parts of it, to where I can actually like step back and start focusing more on those type of videos. Elaine says, I got more powerful lights for one tank and the water clears and algae on the glass cleared. Is that because the plants are growing faster? I think it is because the plants, are now getting essentially what they've been needing more to absorb all those excess nutrients that are in your aquarium. Because if the plants can't consume those excess nutrients, then the algae will with the light. But it's kind of weird because I've got some tanks that have no light on them. And I know they've got excess nutrients because they're just loaded full of guppies. And I feed them super heavy. And these tanks look like they did from when I first set them up. And it's been, shoot, months. They never went through like a weird diatome phase. They never went through like a green spot algae phase. They never went through any phase. But I'm running them off of ambient light only. And I'm kind of confused because there's never any extra food left. There's no like real mold buildup yet. There's no algae yet. Really, some of them there's no plants and just a ton of fish. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what's doing the work as far as the excess nutrients. I don't know if they're just suspended in the water column, just waiting to get some light to grow something. But I should actually, see, once again, that's another video I need to make for you guys. And I'll definitely be showing these tanks to you guys here in the future, because I have showed them. It's mainly at my cichlid rack and my Inler and Guppy rack. So the way the fish room will be now is it has all these different sections. Like it has a cichlid section, which is actually cichlid slash plant farm, which you guys will see on the other side. And then there's like a rainbow section. Then there's a shrimp section, fry section, lab section, just like my laboratory. And what else was there? Hey, kitty, come on. Oh, easy cat. Oh, kitty coming in. Kitty on the lap. I don't know if y'all could hear her meow. Want to say hi, kitty? Hi. See, we got her box over there, too. We got that from shipping, and we kept that just so she can lay in it. She loves her little box to lay in. Don't you, kitty? And Brandy Rutledge, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, Brandy. Always great seeing you around. Says, have to move, ow, kitty, those claws. Have to move 3 of 4 foot racks to my house for my ex-basement. And had cortisone shot in tendon and right hand thumb. When it rains, dreading and wondering how to move them. I love your videos. Oh my gosh. That sounds like a heck of a time. I don't know. If I was near you, I would help you. But I would definitely, I don't know, with that thumb and a cortisone shot and all that, it'd be hard moving a lot of that stuff. And I don't know your social circle, but I'll be trying to find some strong arms. That's for sure. And I love you, Brandy. I appreciate the support. And I hope that heals up quick. You get settled. Push through this. You'll be alright. You'll get where you need to go. And everything happens for a reason. So keep on keeping on and trucking. And thank you, Brandy. I really appreciate the support. And I hope you find some help for that, moving those stands, because yeah, you want to be careful with the injured hand. Oh man, now there's all kinds of questions. Alright, scroll. Chris Resecker says, hey Lucas, one of my glass tanks is unbalanced by a little bit. I can tell by the water level is higher on one side. Should I be worried about it? You think it'll be fine? So, Chris, a lot of my tanks are actually that way where, like, this corner may just get to the top of the tank a little quicker than the other sides do, but, they're not all like that, but a lot of them are like that. I don't worry about it. With those Petco tanks, I ain't never had a problem with it. Maybe if it was a custom Aquariums tank, I don't know. Because they won't support their tank even if it's not on their stand. So, with those Petco tanks, I ain't never had a problem. Paston Lynn says, do you breed your own live foods such as blackworms? So I have in the past, but never to like great quantities like I have wanted to. Greg Jones actually has a really good video on a blackworm culture that I think would be fairly sustainable for smaller fish rooms or medium-sized fish rooms. Cameron Carter says, do you sell turquoise rainbow fish? You know what? I don't even have any, but I feel like I should get some because that is a care species fish. I used to actually sell them, but it's been a long time. But it is one, I don't know. It's hard for me to get rainbow fish, or not hard for me to get, but hard for me to breed rainbow fish that you can get in the stores too. Like if I see a rainbow fish and you can get it in the stores, I'm like, I don't think I really need to keep that one. Just for the pure fact is I don't feel like it needs the conservation effort put towards it as if like a Clausioensis or a Goldii decai or upper tor chilinatherias, fish that you don't normally see in the hobby. And then try to give them a chance to get more conservation. T-Shot says, what's the best location to trim off a melting Taiwan lily leaf? Down low and other advice for the plant. So the best thing to do, T-Shot, is just let it float around. They actually will propagate from that leaf. So if that leaf goes floating around, or even just sits there, like it's actually best for it to sit than be stirred up. They don't like to be stirred up, but if it's in like stagnant water, steady water, that Taiwan lily will actually propagate from that leaf. That's why I never trim any of mine. I actually like the leaf litter it leaves too. It looks cool. But that's if it's like crazy forest of it, like it is in mine. Taiwan lily tank. Yeah, let it ride, let it float. Passing Wind says, Brandy, you can get moving straps. They displace the weight and they are much easier to carry heavy things, and they have them at Home Depot or wherever you buy them. Yeah, those are actually really good because you can actually put those around your forearms and get somebody on the other side, and it makes it a lot easier to carry stuff. That's if you don't find some strong arms to help. Awesome, Matthew Fott. Thank you so much for all your support throughout the years too. Said you got his CPDs in last week, beautiful and healthy. You're very welcome. Rocky and Miles, I'm thinking of getting some of your yellow shrimp. It's not giving me a shipping fee, so I need to fill out the full form first. Thanks. I'm not actually.
Yeah, he has to fill in his address.
Oh yeah, yes. Lady LRB says you do have to fill in your address and everything, and then I guess it will give you, because it's got to know where it's shipping to. They have different rates, and it's pretty cheap. I mean, as far as like buying on the internet and shipping costs, you're not gonna beat my shipping, especially with the free heat pack and free plant. I mean, you can't. Yeah, these companies ain't gonna be able to keep up with me. It's gonna be good for you. It's gonna be good for all of you. It's gonna be good for everybody. Let's see. I'm excited about it. Passing wind, fire marshal Bill to the rescue. Oh shoot, man! I usually got a. Oh, let me show you something. Oh, that's how old I am. All right. Let's see. 51 months. Gold member. Danican Aquatics. OG in the house. 10 months till Aquarama, man. I'm getting stoked to see you again. Maybe we'll hit the coast again. Oh man, that was such a good time going to the coast with you. That was grand. I actually seen a few TikToks of that lately, of just like the landscape, and I was like, reminiscing. Dude, so excited for Aquarama. And you got a heavy lineup, heavy lineup for the people coming to Aquarama in Portland here in 10 months. You got Father Fish, and I think, what did you say? He calls himself Fishery now, was history living in your aquarium, the history of your aquarium, Alexander. If I'm right, I think that's the lineup. I definitely know Father Fish is going to be there with LRB, which is like older version of me, sort of. Cameron Carter says, have you ever planted your Taiwan lilies? So I have planted my Taiwan lilies, and they actually started planted. And then once they hit the top, then they start propagating like crazy. Like when they're just like, if you plant them, you trim them, they'll stay like nice and bushy, and they'll like fluff out and they'll look real cool. But if you just let them grow up and towards the surface, that's where you get like heavy propagation. Like they'll still like bush out, like propagate when they're bushed out, just not as predominantly as if they're like more floating. And I think out of all the ones that I had planted in that 75, there is only one that is still planted, but the whole top of it is just covered. There's probably literally 1,000 Taiwan lilies in that tank. Like I keep just, like, people buy one Taiwan lily, I usually give them like 2 or 3. People buy 4, they get like 10 of them. I just start chucking them in the bag. Be giving them healthy portions because I can. Well, thanks, Carol. I like the streams in the house too. I at least feel like we don't have the Lego Lucas issues. Y'all still have to deal with me, but and there's no aquariums in here. But I don't know. We will actually. I mean, I do have aquariums in that nice fancy aquarium rack in the other room, but the internet doesn't go so well. The axolotls are usually sleeping around this time. We will have something in the living room here. I don't know. Maybe by the end of the year. They will be aquariums, but not what you guys be thinking. The fish room says, what benefits do we get to become a member? So you get the benefit of supporting this crazy endeavor that I go on, and to really learn more, bring more. It's kind of like a collective, like what we learn and grow and build here all comes out on this YouTube channel. Eventually, you guys got videos beforehand, but it's been real hard on my data storage and just me to keep up on the scheduling of doing the members videos like a week before the rest of everybody else, and then the rest of everybody else didn't like that either, so it was kind of really hurting my channel. I have thought about like maybe doing like a giveaway, since there's like a pool of so much that is supported here. After this build is really done, my money won't be like so tight. Like I'm like dollar to dollar every week, just trying to get parts and pieces and put everything together. But once that's not there, I think we're gonna do more giveaways, and I may set up some special like members only videos where it is just like members only. But I don't want to take away from the main channel and leave everybody else out to like, it feels like it's just a paywall to get my stuff, because that's just, I don't know, that's not the person I am. That's not how I want to be. And I want to be able to help everybody. But if you are a member, you know, I mean, some people like to like, um, just support the support. So, and for all those who do, I could never thank you guys enough. And really, without you guys, I would be way, 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 way farther behind than I am right now. So I could never thank you guys enough. And speaking of which, YFI, thank you so much for gifting those memberships to those new members. You have been an absolutely amazing member as well. Yeah, stick with me, and it's about to get really, really good here. This whole next year is gonna be awesome. We got a lot of big things popping. Some things I can't even talk about, but man, when they do come out, you guys are gonna be like, "What?" It's gonna be sweet. T-Shot says, any suggestions? And it's a few things, hopefully. Hopefully. I know one, like really one that's gonna just blow your guys' mind. Like, you guys ain't even think about it or even thought about it. Like, this is totally left field. T-Shot says, any suggestions for a background plant in a 78-degree tank with medium low flow? Anything you have available? Thanks, Lucas. So background plant, 78 degrees. That's pretty much any of my plants that are on the website. Medium low flow. I would say my tallest plants, the pogo. You could either go with the pogo stemon, Octopus stellata, and or I do have some Tiger Vallisneria on there. I don't have much of it on there, and it's not quite as tall as it can get. It's still kind of shorter, but it can get really tall and beautiful. And then I would say the Bacopa Carolina would probably be the next one. Yeah, those would probably be the three I would mention right now. And if you go to my in stock, it has everything there. Only a few pages, since everything's kind of in build mode. Here, once we get out of this build mode, like that page is going to get saturated with all kinds of goodies. Andy Rank, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Just sending some help for the fish barn. See, absolutely amazing, Andy. Thank you so much for the support and your membership as well. Really, really appreciate you. Like, you guys build all this. Like, I seriously could not do what I've done throughout all these years without you guys. And I know I say it a lot, and, you know, I think people should be more grateful about the blessings that we do get, you know. That's what, I don't know, I think keeps the spirit up and helps us be more humane and be thankful for our lives. Because, you know, I wasn't always that way, especially in the wintertime in Indiana. I've had plenty of depression in my life. The Almighty Wissanson, that was kind of hard to say, says, you ever breed Corys? So I have bred them in the past, usually by accident and just cold water change triggers. You can take rock piles and breed them in there sometimes community wise, because they'll scatter out the eggs, and you need a lot of moss to do it too, but the babies could at least get away from the parents, but you don't really end up with much doing that. And with corridors, when they do breed, you want to try to collect the eggs as soon as you can, because most of them will predate on them. I do have videos on breeding them. And then I also have a fish room tour of Eric Bodrock, Oddball Aquatics. He's got an amazing Cory breeding facility within his fish room that I showed, and he gave all kinds of tips and tricks, as well as the Jerry Jost Castle, which that one was more like types than giving any tips or tricks. The Eric Bodrock one, though, it was full of all kinds of tips on breeding Corys. Gary Steen says, how is Connor the neighbor MTS? So his tanks, I talked to him this week, actually. We gave him the sink that was in the barn. And was chatting with him. And he said all the tanks are doing good. He's busy working, like he's been working crazy, and hasn't really been around during the week, but I do want to get back over there and do a video of his aquariums. He says the fish are all breeding, they're all doing good. He wishes he had more time for it, and I've been trying to tell him if he gets up on them mystery snails and whatnot. I'm giving him lots of opportunities, but he's also getting paid, I think, like $40 an hour to do some work somewhere. And so, I mean, it's like, fish room's kind of secondary when you're making that solid pay. Carol, can you please give more details about how and how much carbon you add to your plants? So as far as the carbon I'm adding to my plants, the amount, I have no clue. I just know that the dustings of it, or it's going through it. I don't know how much is really going through and getting into my aquarium. It could definitely vary. But I've never really tested it, like what it would be like if you did just dump in some activated carbon, as far as like even just substrate, just go full on with it. There's still a lot of testing as far as doing that within the aquarium that I've never done. But like Excel stuff, I don't use any of that. So there's not any like actual carbon that I'm like dosing into my aquarium. It's what just goes through my filter. And it's not just the household filter. I got the household filter and then a huge carbon filter filled with coconut shell activated carbon. That doesn't have a screen on it, so some gets through. The fish room says, cool, all that makes sense. Thanks for answering, but is a birthday phone call true? Oh man, if I had time to do that, buddy. If I had the time to do that. I like that idea though. Yeah, I'll give you a birthday call.
You have to ask for their phone numbers when they say.
Yeah, that would be funny. Oh man.
Did you see your gift memberships?
From YFI?
No, yes.
Yeah, I did. Lady LRB's making sure I'm on track here. And Michelle Crisco says, I've tried to join as a member, but I can't find where it is. Maybe because I'm on mobile. Yeah, possibly. I'm not really sure where it is on mobile. And if I go trying to look for anything right now, I'll probably end up banning somebody or putting somebody in timeout. Let's see here. Scroll. Henry Figueroa says, do you know if snails eat Hillstream loach's eggs? You know what? I would think they would eat some of them, but if anybody's eating them more than the snails, it would be the Hillstream loaches, because Hillstream loaches actually do really like a protein-rich diet. And why I always fed them the Tetracolor Tropical Granules, because it's full of protein, and they absolutely love that stuff. I have community bred Hillstream loaches with rock piles. If you type in LRB Hillstream loaches, you should find a few videos on the old setup that I used to have and do that with. Kevin Rosenberg, always good to see you around, says, "What's up, Lucas? Have you ever tried Fluval stratum in houseplants? It works amazing, especially for propagating, but even mixed in soil works amazing." I can imagine it would be good for houseplants. Definitely better for houseplants than aquariums, in my opinion, because it's pretty much like crushed up gravel, but like flat pieces. So like the rooting and how things get moved around, I think would be actually really good for houseplants. Something to think about, Lady LRB. Let's see. Brainy Rutledge says Wesley's still killing it on the geometry game. He is. He is. He's always slaying that. He designs his own and stuff and gets them like certified, and it's I guess the only way you can do it, and like people rank them and whatnot. It's pretty wild. It's cool to see him design them. Coaches Aquatic says, "What's your favorite plant in a 10-gallon with guppies or mollies for success with Friday?" So I would say guppies and mollies. I would say either pearlweed, guppy grass. I mean, guppy grass is so easy. It grows so fast. And Taiwan lily's not bad. Anytime really, algae is really good. So if you can get a mixture of algae and those plants, because the guppies and mollies will just peck at the algae, and then the rest will just kind of float around. But I would say those are probably my top three. That stargrass stuff that I have is pretty good too. But I don't have any of that available or anything. There he is. Somebody.
Where's the recycling?
Oh, it's over on this side. I had to move it so I can sit here.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Alright. Scroll. Fishbox says, "Does a cherry and cherry shrimp refer to just red shrimp? Like, can yellow neo be a yellow cherry shrimp?" So there is a lot of confusion how people name things, especially like bigger box stores. But cherry shrimp is for like the color of it, the red cherry. Because when they first came out with neocardinas, that was the only color that they had, was the cherry shrimp, the red color. So they're like, "Oh, these look like cherries. They're red. Fruit. Yum, shrimp." And then later started coming all the other colors. And some people will tag the yellow to the cherry name because it's still like a neocaridina. So I think they do it because they think the people that are reading the label are thinking, "Oh, this is a yellow cherry. So if I'm keeping cherries, this is the yellow version." So it kind of gives a link for people. So it's really just a different way to detail or describe. So I mean, I can't really knock them for using it like that, because many people think differently and pick up things differently. So it does have that correlation. But yeah, they are both neocardinas. Da, 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 da. Victor Bevela Aqua. I don't know if I said that right or not, but I definitely gave my best try. "Hey Lucas, I missed out on a G maculosus rainbows. I know I've been asking for a while. If you had any ready to go, thanks." Actually email us, and I'll see what I can do for you. I'm sitting on a couple. But yeah, I don't know how many more I got, like, because I've got a couple other people in the background asking too. And those things are hot cakes. I mean, hot cakes. And Jamie Green says, "What's the best bristle nose for a 29-gallon Endler breeding tank?" I mean, the one that you like the best, I guess. That would be pretty much it. I mean, all the bristle noses are pretty much the same. They're bristle noses. I like to mow down. Chi-Town Pat says, always good to see you in here too, Chi-Town. You've been around a long time, Pat. I appreciate it. Says, how big has your Taiwan grown? I placed it in outdoor pond, and when I brought it back into a non-CO2 tank, they grew to a full 3-inch lily. So the Taiwan lilies that I have they hit the top of a 75-gallon. So that's what, 18 inches tall? And they definitely could have gone taller too. All right, I am at the bottom of the chat, keeping up with y'all, hammering them out. So if you got the question, I am down here. We got like maybe 10 minutes to go. But yeah, got questions? If not, I don't think I'll have much for you guys as far as videos this week, but that's because I'm in like hardcore build mode. There is so many projects that I'm working on that are just kind of like coming together. But of course they take time, like this stuff doesn't happen overnight, but we had a lot of big things knocked off the list this week. And I am videoing it all, so you guys will be able to see it here in the future. It's not gonna be this week. Coaches Aquatic says pothos are great, but is there another plant that puts in the same work that has different look but grows similar? Maybe a question for Lady RB. So, which was that live stream? I think we did a live stream not long ago with her plant room. And I think it was the first one we did in here. I don't remember what I titled it though. Yeah, I think it was something about terrestrial plants. So it does kind of have a title that will say, hey, this is the video. If you look at like my past live streams or my past videos. And she goes through a lot of those. That could be. Yeah, terrestrial aquarium plants. So yeah, that's a pretty good title. Alright, let's see. Will bristlenose super reds eat fry? Jamie Green asks. So as far as the inler fry, it's a lot harder for them to catch them, but I'd imagine if they're big enough. So what will happen is inler and guppy fry will actually sleep on the bottom of the substrate at night sometimes. Very quite often actually. And then there's a chance that they could get predated on if the bristlenose is big enough and there's just not space for them to hide. So you may lose a few, but you'll still get some numbers out of them. There's like a balance to that. That's why it's like either breed this fish in its tank by itself, or you can breed them together, but it's always a give and take when you do that. Always. JS says, how are the outdoor tanks doing? They're doing good. The rice fish and what are those Mexican live bears that I got? They are doing well. Even though it got down to 30s a couple times. The guppies, they did not do too hot, and then the platies did not. So guppies and platies, no go. The rest of the tanks are empty. I'm not sticking anything out there until the actual, till spring actually starts kicking in. It does warm up during the days, and that's why I wanted to try out those fish, like the guppies and platies outside, because like, as long as it's not cold for a long period of time and they can get that warmth throughout the day, then they can like recharge back up their heat. But yeah, it's not warm enough to do it here. So still earning. What are my plans for Christmas? To enjoy it with my family. Definitely enjoy it with my family. Bob S says, okay, where can I find wild bettas for sale? Do you have any tips? I do not really know right now. I could not tell you on that one. If anybody can help out Bob S, though, that'd be much appreciated. Oh, Dan's Fish has them? Okay. Johnny Best says, received the fire red Neo. You included a stem of money wort immersed. How can I change it for submerged? Just plane it down. You could either float it and just let it do its thing, or you can plane it down and it should transition. Like if it melts back, just don't mess around with it much. Let it kind of transition itself. Flood City Fishkeeper says, what causes perfectly healthy fish to die in an hour? Had 3 18-inch Phoenix barbs in my 400-gallon grow out. Watched them swimming at 8:30 while I was feeding my fry tanks. Back down in the room at 9:30. And they were just like dead. Was there a water change? Like, what happened differently? Like, if there was a water change, then that's the only thing I could think of. But like, just for 3 of them to go down in an hour, I don't know what else you have in that tank. I have had before where I have had like these mini wars happen between like gangs of fish. Like these tetras had a war out with these tetras, and like there was a few of them dead and a few of them dead. And I've had it happen on multiple occasions where they were just like the most random, like, why did that happen? And you would think that you'd like see things of that like collecting up, but sometimes if you're not fully looking at the aquarium and or the dynamics of the society of the fish living in them and how they really respond to each other, a lot of people don't put that much forethought into their aquariums or fish. It's hard to pick up those like dynamics from them of what could have really happened. Without no more, like I can hear that. Can you turn that down, please? Thanks. Alright, Chi-Town Pass says, if killifish are found in cold regions, how would they do in an outdoor tank? I think it really depends on the killifish. A lot of them aren't found in cold regions. A lot of them can be found in like Africa and other places. What, babe?
Lady Diane just gifted 10 memberships.
Lady Diane, thank you so much, Lady Diane. Appreciate you. Y'all give her a thank you for those memberships. That is awesome of you. But there is, the thing about killifish is, killi, I think, believes it just means like a stream is the actual name. I can't remember what language it come from, but that's what the killi part of killifish actually means. Is just like a little stream fish, which there's some in Alaska, there's some in Africa, there's some killifish that are just down here. There's a lot of specific region killifish, which if you ever get a chance to go to any type of American Killifish Association convention or meetup or anything like that, or even watch some of the videos that I've done of them, you will see some wild fish that just come through that you just never even knew existed, and be like, what? Those come from where? And it just, I remember this Alaskan pair of killifish that I really wanted. And it was in Ohio, and I know if any of you guys were at that one in Ohio, like maybe 4 or 5 years back, the prices of some of these, like, you couldn't get a killifish cheaper than like $50 was probably the minimum price. I think they ended up going for like 200 something. It was out of my league at the time. But man, those Alaskan killifish were gorgeous. They had like this red green to them. They're like a Christmas killifish. Bob S says, Dan says no items were found. I am tempted to order from Thailand. Anybody have experience with that? What is his name? There's a transshipper, so you usually got to use a transshipper to get through all that stuff, which can get a bit pricier. There's a guy in Minnesota, I can't remember who it was though, because it's been so long since I've done it. I wish I could remember. Yeah, I don't know where to get those wild bettas right now. Let's see. Johnny Best says, where is your dog? That is a long story, and that happened a long time ago. But hopefully he's in a good place. I don't know. He just went disappearing one day. And it sucked. And it wasn't the first time it happened either. I heard all kinds of stories about that dog going on adventures and trips and stuff. And technically that dog wasn't completely my dog. That dog like came to us out of the woods. And he was a real free spirit, let me put it that way. And hopefully he's alright. That's all I can hope. But it's nice to be reminded of it every now and then, you know? That'll forever be. That's what I get for showing them on the camera. Alright, we have hit the hour mark. That is where we're at. And, yeah. I want to appreciate you all. Since there's no other questions, I think I'm going to hop off here. Oh, here you go. Yeah, Frank's Bettas. There you go. Xanadu. Hold on real quick before I go. Wild Bettas. Go to Frank Bettas. I remember Frank Bettas, and that's legit. It says go to Frank Bettas. You will pay for the fish. $4 per import cost, I think. And that's cheap. They go to a transshipper in the U.S., then you pay for shipping to you. It works well. Done it many times. Thank you, Xanadu. And I can vouch for Frank's Bettas. If I were to get them, that would be the guy I would get them from. So I definitely remember that dude. He has legit stuff. And Wesley, you want to tell him goodbye? You want to close this out? Peace. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys all have a great weekend, and thank you all so much for joining. Da 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 da.